Hello, everybody. It's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Welcome to a new day. Thanks a lot for being here. The question that I want to ask you today is about superheroes. Do you know any? Well, heroines, people that are inspirations to you. Well, superheroes don't always wear capes, and heroines certainly don't. They are the types of people who have impacted us in our lives in ways that are so dramatic and so deep and meaningful, and there was no capes to be found at all. They were never the ones that were visible superheroes or heroines. They were the people that were by our side during a difficult time. They were people who loved us unconditionally. They were the people who gave us inspiration and just showed us something in themselves, what we wanted to be, a strength, a talent, some inspiration. And this article by Marcia Smalley, really one of our bloggers, really inspired me because she made me think about so many people in my life that I would consider heroines, heroes, people who just saved me. They were my angels that were just by my side when I needed them. And never for a minute did I even know that they would appear, that they were magical. And maybe for you, you've got some stories too, some people that played that role in your life. And so I want to take us on a little memory lane journey today and talk about the heroines who changed your life. And maybe at the end of all this, you can leave us a comment and tell us what it was that they did or how it changed your life, because I don't think we stop enough to think about those people and to thank them and to, well, some of them have gone on and we can't thank them in this lifetime, but the ways we can live what they taught us take it into our world with our children and our grandchildren. There's a lot of famous women that we can always talk about, the Maya Angelou's, Helen Keller, and Eleanor Roosevelt, Marie Curie, people that made, incredible differences into science and technology. And well, you can just list them all the science, all the technology people that, were celebrities. But those are in a way not the people that I'm talking about here. What really I'm talking about are the mothers and the aunties and the teachers and the workmates and the friends, the people who somehow took us under their arm or into their arms and taught us lessons and were models for the future, for our future. So these women, and Marcia does an awesome job of giving some examples, and I'm going to read these because they're so powerful. She said, who were these women? Well, they were the single moms who gave us unconditional love, or the moms that were challenged in their relationships, our moms. They were the best friend's mom who kept us safe. Now, I must admit, I get emotional here because I have a very good friend. Her name's Mary. And if you're watching Mary, you know how important you are to me. I've known Mary for 55 years. And she's probably knows me better than anyone on the planet. But her mom was such an inspiration to me. She doesn't know that. I mean, Mary didn't even really know it until I mentioned it. But I would go over to her house and I'd watch her getting dressed and ready for work. And this is in the 60s, right? When, women didn't go out to work. But she just was such a strong woman, and her appearance was beautiful, and she just was strong, and I admired her so much. She was a hero to me. She was a heroine. She was an educator who helped us shape our future. This is Marcia's words. Or a colleague who gave us encouragement, or bosses who inspired us to shine. And I've got a couple of those, and I'm sure you do too. But she says, think about how they influenced and supported you. What elevates them to the level of heroine, as opposed to just someone who, you worked with or someone that was a friend. Well, it's because they give us gifts, and we carry those gifts into the future. I'll never forget a person who I met I must have been in my 50s, and I was on a photography workshop with an amazing photographer called Bruce Dale, and he had with him a man called Bob Gilka. Bob was an editor of the National Geographic, and a very important man. He changed the lives of many photographers by accepting or declining their pictures. But he came, and I was with my ex-husband, and we were on a road trip for just to learn photography. And with Bob was his wife, Janet Gilka, and He was there with this big Nikon camera taking pictures, and everybody else was. And she had this little brownie camera. It was like one of those little click ones, you know, that you go click, 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 click. And she had these bubbles that she was blowing in the air. And she was like blowing the bubbles and then going click, 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 click. And I went over to her and I gave her the biggest hug. And I said, "Oh, Janet, that is so beautiful." And her gift to me, she was in her 70s at the time, but her gift to me was the magic of creativity and the inspiration of the simple things. She didn't need a big camera. She just needed her little brownie and a little jar of bubbles. And I must admit, this is the truth. When I travel, I always carry bubbles with me. Because when not that I'm traveling much anymore, but at the moment, but when I do go to places where there's little kids and they love coming up to you and blowing bubbles, and then you take their pictures, and it's just beautiful. And kids and bubbles, it brought up the child in me. So anyway, Janet was definitely a heroine for me. And when I went through my divorce, by the way, she was by my side. Gosh, she was so helpful. She really gave me a perspective, and she made me be strong. And I was crying for years, and she just made me get stronger. And so she was my heroine, one of many. So the list is deep and far-reaching as to gifts that they give us. And Marcia's great in her conversation. They gave us resilience and humor, strength, fearlessness, resolve, and they gave us love. And that is one that I think is just precious. Now, for most people, they will say that this was their mom. But their mom may not have been the one that loved them. It may have been an aunt. It may have been someone else who stepped in there to help you. But love, giving the gift of love and loving you just regardless of your flaws. I mean, you know, when you're growing up and you're bumping around and making all kinds of mistakes, they help you to just, you know, they love you for who you are. And so that gift of love, I think, is the strongest gift that a heroine can give. So your heroines are, isn't that a funny word, like heroine? Am I pronouncing that right? Heroine. When I think of it, I think of heroine, and then that can't be right. But anyway, they are the people that inspire us. And the gifts they give us are, Marcia has a group, and she says that what made it work was that there were all these people who gave each other these gifts, overcome obstacles, how to keep it together in the middle of a completely stressful situation, carry us through, show us the way, you know, give us tools, give us skills, help us with skills, and most of all, believe in us. Those were the gifts that her heroines gave her. So what can we do? Well, what can they teach us? Well, they can teach us that we can be heroines too. We can be the heroes of the young women in our world, in our life. Not just the young women, the young men too. We can be there for them. We can give them love, resilience, humor, strength, skills. We can do all those things for them, just as you know, the heroines in our life gave to us. I am forever grateful for some people in my life who, I don't think I would be the person that I am today. I don't even think I would have done 60andMe. I don't think I would have lived the life that I've lived if it hadn't been for certain people. Another person for me was Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. I had the honor of working with her for a couple of years, helping her with her workshops. And she was doing these life, death, and transition workshops. And I wrote articles that appeared in newspapers and on TV based on her work. And it just led me to a life of, to compassion, really. And seeing life as a journey that has such complexity and such a story to be told. And I met so many wonderful people on that time with Elizabeth, but most it was her as an individual. She was an amazing woman, you know, one of triplets, chain smoker. She was otherworldly. I can't even describe her. She had the ability, when she would, after a presentation, she would stand there and people, like a crowd, like hundreds of people would crowd around her to talk to her and share their story. And she would choose one person to talk to for a few moments. And it was kind of my job to, after there was a pause in the conversation, move them to the next, move them on. But she would look in their eyes like there was no one else in the room. It was like she was just there with you. And I think people that can do that and who can just block out everything else and just give you their undivided love, their undivided attention and compassion, it's magic. It's just magical. So that was another one that was my heroine in my life. And that's just three of probably 30 that I could list. And you probably got some too. And I would love to know about them. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say it was your mom or your grandmother. A lot of people were very influenced by their grandmother, which makes it so powerful to me to be a good grandmother to my grandchildren. You know, because they do. We have an impact on their little lives at such a deep level when they're 3 and 4 and 5, you know, those young ages. And I unfortunately didn't have my grandmother, any of my grandmothers with me when I was young. So, you know, that's a gift if you had a grandmother who really, really helped you along, gave you that magical advice that helped. So who were the influential women in your life? Please leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a chat. And if you want to join us in a more casual environment, come join our Patreon group. It's our supporters group. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and it's private group. So we get to meet live shows twice a week, lots of exclusive videos, and they're all for making friends. They're all part of this journey of just, you know, being there for each other. So if you want to join, it's patreon.com/60andme. You'll get the details in the section below. But have a wonderful day, everybody. Please stay safe and well, and share with us the people that were your heroines, the ones who played an important, influential role in your life, and how. Take good care, everyone. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye for now.